I wanna be a billionaire so freaking bad. Buy all of the things I never had.
Have you ever thought of being a billionaire? Welcome. This is Billionaires Circle. Here you'll find additional knowledge, skills, and techniques of becoming a billionaire and being able to live the life of your dreams. Do not forget to subscribe on our YouTube channel, Ringo TV. My name is Gemma Silvan. Today on Billionaires Circle, we will be discussing about opportunities in China to Africa, or we will see the principles and strategies that Chinese had used, and we as Tanzanians, if we apply them, we can go further in terms of economic development. Today in our discussion, we will be having CEO of You Can Be Rich Company, Dr. Ringo Mowo, and the CEO of Mining and Engineering Equipment Limited, Mr. Richard Lau. Our first speaker was Dr. Ringo, who started to speak about poverty in Tanzania. Poverty has caused many tragedies, such as marriage breakdowns, has caused death, also ignorance, and we can solve this problem by learning, work together, cooperate, and support one another. Also, we can see Mr. President's vision toward eradicating this disaster through industrialization. Watch out.
I'm real grateful to have you here, our dear guests, and also I'm very happy to have my friend, Mr. Richard, to come and speak to us regarding the opportunities and the strategies on how Chinese became so developed that we can learn as a country. You know, as Mr. President has a vision to make Tanzania to become industrialized. So we can learn a lot from Chinese. Please, welcome. Yeah, in short, I just want to share with you our vision. Our vision is to eradicate poverty. We want to create millionaires and billionaires in the world. We all understand that poverty has been responsible for so many deaths. Poverty has been responsible for so many break of relationships, marriages. Poverty has been responsible for so many ignorance. So we as the company and we as the people, we dream and we are really determined to eradicate poverty in the world. And I was reading the newspaper like 2 weeks back. I also saw it's one of the vision of the United Nations to eradicate poverty in the world come 2030. So I believe we as the people, not only you can be rich, but we as the people, if we get engaged and fight together, learn together, work together, and support one another, we are very, very sure that we can eradicate poverty. And this is possible because we believe that God has never created a single individual to be poor. If God created an individual or human being to become poor, he wouldn't opt to make a human being to be like God. We all know that God said, let us create people. Let us create men and women by the image of God. So if God himself, who is the richest and wealthiest, get to a point and want himself to be like human, so we cannot think that people have been designed and created to be poor. No, that's not true. It's just a question of learning, working together, cooperating, and it is very, very possible to become rich.
Nobody was created to be poor. It's just the matter of choice. Those who are working under different organizations and in senior positions such as ministers, directors, managers, at the moment they quitted from their jobs, their life changes so significantly due to poor living conditions. Stop working to accomplish somebody else's vision. You were created for a purpose, and you were not created to be an average person. Watch out.
If you're working for a different organization, you are working for somebody's vision. That is not your vision. Your vision is to do something for yourself. And one thing I can guarantee you, my dear brothers and sisters, if there is no one buying from you, I can guarantee you're not going to be the first. We have seen a big number of people. Some of them were holding a very senior position, like the managers, directors, head of the units, and some of them, they became even the ministers of the different governments. But the moment they quitted from the employment, their life changed so significantly, and most of them, they died poor. Why? Because they were living after somebody's vision. You as an individual, God has created you for a purpose. And with that purpose, you have to come up and live that vision. And by living your vision, it is when you can arise and become one of the most powerful, successful individual in this world. You were not designed or created to become poor or an average person. God has never intended you to be an average person.
Also, we will hear about the biography of Cho Joo-young, who is the owner and founder of Hyundai Company. Cho Joo-young never went to secondary school. He didn't even acquire certificate, diploma, or degree. But he knew that he was created for a special purpose. He was never created to become a poor person and never created to become an average individual. Cho Joo-young started from selling rice, then he worked on garage. After garage, he worked also on construction industry, and later he became the owner of his own manufacturing industry. And remember that he was not a technician, and also he was not an engineer. So this is really influential. Then we can see that Cho Joo-young, after his death, he was awarded 5 PhDs. This is really amazing. Let's hear about it.
2010, I was in South Korea. I visited this company so-called Hyundai Heavy Industry. Then they were taking us through the history of the founder of that company. The guy was born in one of the poorest country, one of the poorest family in South Korea. And he was the firstborn among the 7 children. Cho Joo-young, he didn't manage to go to secondary school like most of us here. I know most of you have been to university, some of you secondary, and you attain these certificates and degrees, whatever. But Cho Joo-young didn't have that opportunity to go to secondary school. He just finished primary school, and eventually he was employed to work with a certain company, certain guy to sell rice in a kiosk. So he was selling rice, being paid a salary for almost 5 years. Young, after working for 5 years, then he quitted the job. He started selling rice, doing his own business. But by then he came out with a different strategy. He started selling rice. When he was employed, he was selling rice just under the kiosk of the employer. But this time around, Cho Joo-young was selling rice using his own bicycle, changing the philosophy, following the clients. So 7 years later, Cho Joo-young managed to establish a garage. He didn't go back to school to add another certificate or degree, whatever. He didn't go back. I'm not saying going to university and attaining those academic credentials is bad, no. But he focused on what he was intending to do in life. So he started selling rice. 7 years later, Chun-Yung established a garage. He employed the people who were capable to work under the garage, and eventually, Chun-Yung, after 5 years later, he established a construction company. That company started making a lot of money. He was not an engineer, he was not a technician, he was not having a degree like you guys you have, but that company started making a lot of money. I remember they took us to a place where they were manufacturing these vehicles, brand new vehicles. So he changed the garage from repairing and maintaining the used vehicles, but eventually he turned that garage into manufacturing company. They were showing us these vehicles. All these the brand that you see here, the Hyundai and the Kia. They were manufactured from the guy who had never touched even secondary school. So I was so amazed they took us to another place where they were manufacturing these big generators, like those you see in the Songas. Big generators, even this room is very small. And they took us to another place where they were manufacturing the ships. They showed us one big ship, it was just an order of Hong Kong government. That ship had a capacity to carry 14,000 40-feet containers. 14,000, imagine. Manufactured by someone who have never even been to secondary school, to college, to university, but he is doing a lot and wonderful stuff to the world. By the time Chun-Yung died, he was awarded 5 PhDs honorary. So sometimes people are not after certificates. If you rise up and do some stuff that can astonish the world, certificates will come automatically. The key is to live your purpose. What God has created you to do and to be. If you follow that, you can shine and arise, become one of the most powerful, influential individuals in this world, and you leave the mark. It is not, it is very ashamed to die poor. It is very ashamed to die poor, my dear brothers and sisters. If God created you, He created you with a purpose. So, make sure you find your purpose and live your purpose. And by doing so, you'll find yourself growing financially and also growing influentially. You'll become one of the powerful people. And even if you are gone, people will still remember you. You should not be an individual, if you are gone today, will just forget about you, forget about your family, even forget about your name. There are people whom we can forget completely, but if you make the mark in this world, people will always remember you. They will remember you by your products, they will remember you by your service, they will remember you by the things that you left to the world. You should be one of the people with that ambition for people to remember you, even if you are gone. Today, we remember people like Steve Jobs, because we see the products, we see what he did to the world. Today, we remember people like Mandela. Today, we remember people like Henry Ford. We remember them because they left something to the world. You are not here by chance. God has created you for a purpose.
Don't let the fear of losing be greater than the excitement of winning. Well, that was by Robert Kiyosaki. Do you know 50 years back, China was one among the poorest countries in the world? Next time we'll be having Dr. Rinko Mowo with the interview with Mr. Richard Lau, who is the owner CEO of Mining and Engineering Equipment Limited in Tanzania. He is also a Chino citizen who is having experience about how China becomes successful in terms of economic development. This is not something to miss. It will be very interesting. I can guarantee you that.
The historical background and on how you started business, then we can take it further.
For sure, and thanks for Mr. Godfrey. I got the chance and here to communicate with all the people here, and thanks for this chance, and really appreciate it. Thank you. And as Mr. Godfrey said, and there's one thing and the biggest achievement for China for the last 40 years, I think it's gonna be eliminate the poverty.
Thank you very much for investing some of your time to watch Billionaires Cycle. Keep on watching other programs. And do not forget to subscribe on our YouTube channel, Ringo TV. My name is Gemma Silvan, Ringo TV, grow rich.
I wanna be a billionaire so freaking bad. Buy all of the things I never had. I wanna be on the cover of